Toy Room is provided by
me working a lot.
Hi there. Welcome to Will's Toy Room. Now, if you'll allow me a moment of seriousness, you see, my birthday is coming up very soon. I will be 31 years old. And if you know basic math, well, enough of math to be a toy YouTuber. That's a dig at me, not anyone else. You'll know that I was born in 1994, straight out of them 90s. So to commemorate such an event, I have gathered up in this bin here 31 of, in my opinion, some of my favorite 90s toys. So without further ado, let's kick it old school and take a look at the 90s. At the number 31 spot, a figure I featured on my YouTube channel some time ago is the Wacky Action Shredder, made by Playmates in good old 1990. I did not peek. I know these things. I picked this fella because, like I said in my video, I feel he embodies the most of a cartoon accurate shredder made by Playmates back in the day. In the number 30 spot, made by Trendmasters, is someone who was once a little green slab of clay. We have an icon from, made by Art Clokey, late 60s, then into early 70s, but like all things of the time, nostalgia always has its hold, so it was brought into the 90s, like I said, by the good folks at Trendmasters. He came with a few other figures like the Blockheads, Pokey, Prickle, Goo, and a bunch of different fun outfits. I have a couple of them, but quite frankly, it takes too much time to find this stuff. But trust me, I have them. And in the 29th spot, we have something that you should probably catch a few of by the company Tommy. We have a select few of the Pokemon figures. Some of my personal favorite picks. Now, unfortunately, I don't have my personal favorite Pokemon, which is Porygon, in figure form like this, but when you're talking 90s, you gotta put Pokemon in there somewhere, and here they are. And in the 28th spot, we have from the company Trendmasters again. This time, it's Rick O'Connell from the hit 1998 movie The Mummy, which I'd rather be watching right now. I have another version of Rick, but this was the first one I could find, so congratulations, you get to be in the video. We have probably one of the stupidest action figures that I've ever seen in my life from the good folks at Mattel for the Last Action Hero line. We have, well, there's you, the audience, but we also have mint on card Skull Attack Jack from the famous scene where Danny imagines Jack Slater, senior moment, I'm 30. He imagines Jack Slater inserted into the movie Hamlet, and there's a part where he does in fact throw a skull at someone.
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark, and Hamlet is taking out the trash.
We have our first video game character. This is the movie version. I don't have the classic version of this figure, but this is the movie version of Scorpion, obviously from Mortal Kombat. Each one of the ninjas came with kind of generic weapons that Hasbro would just kind of put with a few of them. And they are supposed to have a tassel that goes along. Unfortunately, mine's missing it. And it was a toss-up whether to have him or Sub-Zero, but you gotta give it to my main man, Scorpion. At 25, we have one of my personal favorite members of the hit cartoon series and comic book, the X-Men, known as Storm. I believe, now, don't quote me on this, because again, senior moment, I believe when Professor Xavier found Storm, she was thought to be a goddess of some kind, worshipped by a tribe. But Professor X came up, calmly explained himself, what he does, and invited her to become not only a pupil of his, but that a teacher to younger up-and-coming mutants to show them what it's all about. That you don't have to be embarrassed or even afraid of the powers that you bear. So I think she's a very strong, very cool character. She did have an action feature where I believe you'd flick the switch and she would spark up. There's another version of her with the white outfit, but this one is just way, way better in my opinion. And continuing the trend with X-Men, in the 24th spot we have Iceman. The only thing pushing him a little bit further strictly is his gimmick. I am a complete sucker for transparent figures, chromed out figures. You'll see a couple more of those a little later on. Glow in the dark figures, more towards the top. And just all gimmicks of the like. And Iceman is very fitting in that aspect. We seem to be stuck in a theme here because speaking of cool, but also taking a bit out of the step of, see, I said in the title 31 figures, that includes Lego figures too. This is from the very excellent old school Lego line Ice Planet 2002. One of the very first named female minifigures. This is Dr. Kelvin. And again, going with being a sucker for gimmicks, one thing that the Ice Planet line was famous for, besides having a wonderful white, blue, and black color scheme, was all the neon orange that just looked wonderful. There was also like dishes and chainsaw pieces. It was just a fantastic Lego line that I wish could have lived for a little bit longer. Next up, in the 22nd spot, we're going back to Hasbro. Here with Wild Bill. I believe this is version 3. Version 2 and 3 look very similar. But all in all, no offense to Wild Bill version 1 stands and all. But I mean, come on, it just looks so much more interesting, and you got the vibrant blue and yellow, these like weird cavalry colors. A significant improvement to one of the most significant and best G.I. Joe pilots that Hasbro ever made. In the number 21 spot, is this the first Kenner? I believe this is the first Kenner figure I'll be talking about. Look, I tried to minimalize the Kenner figures as much as I could. This is just what's gonna have to be. But here we have Demona, probably the best figure out of the whole Gargoyles line. I mean, the hardwired figures are cool. The Steel Clan robots, they'll be a good troop builder if anyone ever has them. But Demona speaks volumes as just one of the best characters in the show. Her constant back and forth, should she, stick with the humans, should she stick with the gargoyles, all the conflict that arises. A very interesting and fourth dimensional character. In the 20th spot, we have the very excellent, very Chrome Dome. I will admit, his episode in the show was very underwhelming, and the Chrome Dome in the show is like this tall, and the turtles are like that. Very, very odd, but they made a figure of him anyways. They gave him some cool accessories, and they clearly put some cool samurai influence into his head helmet design. Overall, if you can get him in pretty good shape with a nice sheen, he'll look great in your collection, and I'm happy to have him. Sticking with Lego, since you saw Dr. Kelvin, now we get some Star Wars and Lego. Now, I vaguely remember when it was announced that, I remember when Phantom Menace came out, and then Lego announced they'd be doing tie-in products with it, as well as tie-ins to the OG trilogy. It was fantastic. I never had him growing up. This is a purchase from later in life. But I did have the Slave One, and I had the TIE Fighter set that were both released back in the day. And it's just amazing how, even in simple Lego form, you can tell right away, this is, amongst a million other yellow Lego heads, this is Han Solo. That smirk, that smuggler attitude. Wonderful minifigure. More video games. By Capcom, we have Chun-Li. It was a toss-up again as to whether or not to include Cammy, which actually, you can see Cammy right back there. There's Cammy. But I just personally think Capcom sculpted Chun-Li just better. From her face, her action pose, clothing, all around. Again, if I had a Ken, maybe I would have put him on the list, but I don't. And you can't deny the presence of Street Fighter in the 90s. It was Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Those were the big dogs. And boy, did they let you know it. We have one of my personal favorites of the Power Rangers groups. These are Rangers in Space. Now I know what you're thinking, but Will, what about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? And to that I say, that might be yours, but this is mine. Leave me alone. This is my video. Make your own video. Stay up till 3 a.m. and make your own video. I was on the fence about just having one Ranger, and I guess if I had to pick just one, I'd probably pick the Silver Ranger. But through heavy debate with myself, I decided, heck with it, all the Rangers get represented here. As I said before, there will be other transparent figures and other glow-in-the-dark figures, which brings us to the Batman Beyond figure, Dr. Phosphorus, with an amazing transparent body and glow-in-the-dark skull and rib cage. You may or may not have seen his cameo in the Lego Batman movie, or seen his appearance on James Gunn's Creature Commandos, but it'll always go back to this classic figure of Dr. Phosphorus for me. No coat, no pants, still get service. Now, I told you there'd be better glow-in-the-dark figures later on. Dr. Phosphorus is good, but Bonehead is better. I mean, look at his accessories. His gun accessory is made of bone, and he comes with this very epic gas mask accessory. So many glow-in-the-dark features. I'm so happy I was able to pick this figure up when I did, when it was affordable. I got most of the Toxic Crusaders, well, all the ones that I wanted to get. There were a few that were, but Bonehead was a must-have. We're gonna get into more Kenner territory now, so just letting you know in advance. Next we have, where did your mask go? Cracked Tusk Predator. Out of all the different Predators on the list, not that list, not those Predators, I could have picked the Stalker Predator, Lava Planet Predator, whatever may have you. But Cracked Tusk is on the list because he, in my mind, kind of like Wacky Action Shredder, he embodies the most of what the original one looked like from the very first movie. And it is a shame that, like, the Aliens line got Ripley, believe it or not, and a bunch of the other Colonial Marines. Kenner never made an Arnold figure, even though they made T2, so they clearly were going to make Arnold figures around the same time as they made this one, but they never made a Dutch figure or any of the other crew, like Dylan or anyone like that. But I digress. This is one of the oldest Kenner figures I have in my collection, because once I found out about it, I knew I had to have it. And speaking of someone that I just mentioned, next on the spot is Ellen Ripley with her epic flamethrower gun. Aliens and Alien, pretty much all Alien has become another obsession for me. And this was a fantastic figure, and one that I was very excited to have. See, I'm trying to do this feature because, like, you can hook it in this hole right here, and you can have her hold the gun. Let me see if I can do it, because it'll look kind of cool. It's just a fun little gimmick. Like, look, you turn it, and like her head stays stationary, and the flamethrower comes out. Just the heart and soul that Kenner puts into their stuff, or I should say put into their stuff, till Hasbro absorb them and till all are one. We have a couple duos coming up, so don't get scared now. 90s movies. Should I put Kevin McAllister on the list? We got the Mario Bros. And plumbing is their game. They are not like the others who get all the fame. We got, of course, Mario and Luigi Mario. I kinda like the movie, and you may have your own feelings about it. I mean, obviously, it's not a perfect movie. It was a very troubled production. But think about kids in the 90s. That's all they had. What are they going to do in 1993? See Jurassic Park for the 78th millionth time? I mean, probably, because Jurassic Park is obviously a better movie, but as far as video game stuff, get hooked on the brothers. Their duo, which, of course, is arguably a better duo. We have the Wild Stallions. We have Bill S. Preston, Esquire, and Ted Theodore Logan. Wild Stallions! Yeah! It's such an obscure toy line, and I'm so happy that Kenner got the rights to do this. I also have the infamous phone booth in my collection, as well as the Grim Reaper, which you may have seen in my Time Travel Trio video. It was just pure luck and happenstance that I was able to get both complete Bill and Ted at the same time from a toy store that sadly is no longer with us. What's very interesting is that you have these holes on the back, and apparently, I don't have this accessory yet, I'm still looking for it for a good price, is you're able to hook in an amplifier, so when you squeeze the legs, Bill and Ted would actually play music out of them, which is, again, no one else but Kenner would think of this stuff. And that's why I truly am a die-hard Kenner fanboy at heart, and always will be. We're getting into the top 10 right now with a member of the Bone Brigade. Now, I do have all the other members in the more Vietnam jungle outfits, but this one was just a little bit easier to get to in my collection right now. And doesn't make it any less cool. I mean, look at the detail that... who made this one real quick? I should know this. Yay. Anyway, just the level of detail on the helmets having more, and like the bones being exposed. It's just fantastic. I believe, what was the tagline of this toy line? It was, I'll put it right here because it's pretty raw. And that's what earns the Bone Brigade its place on the... Oh! Hi, Future Will. It's nice that you're getting into the 90s spirit, too. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can... 1 second. Future Will is going to announce the next figure.
The following figure is the green transparent version of Hugo Weaving's character from The Matrix, far superior to the original, since this character is molded in a wonderful see-through green.
Thank you. Well, he said it best. Next up, another sci-fi franchise. Again, it's a movie, love it or hate it. I happen to love it because I grew up watching it. This is the alien attack pilot from Independence Day, or ID4. Does he have... Yeah, and inside is the little alien that, you know, they cut it open and then it grabbed Brent Spiner by the neck and was manipulating him and was like... Stuff like that. I just love it because... Trendmasters, my apologies. Trendmasters went super hard on the aliens. They didn't care at all about the humans in the line. They look awful. But the aliens look fantastic, which earns its spot on the list. Now we're getting into army building territory in this section, more towards the number 1 spot. will have army builders in there. And if you know me at all, you just might know who's in the top 3. But this one is a very peculiar one. This is the Burger King Frankenstein's monster, complete with transparent forearms, hands, and head. It doesn't glow in the dark, unfortunately, but that it catches the light perfectly. And it makes him alive. He's alive! This one, again, being somewhat of an army builder, I only have 2 of them right now. I hope to get more. This one has a special place in my heart, as well as my collection. So, growing up, since my brother was older than me, he got G.I. Joes. I might have told this story before, but please bear with me. He gave me his collection, and one of the pieces in his collection was the Heli Viper. It completely didn't have anything that originally came with it, but piece by piece, like, I got the figure pretty fair condition offline. I found his gun in a bag at Value Village. One of my toy vending buddies hooked me up with the main system, and I think the pull cord, because you attach this to a post and you pull it, this is spin, and then they take off. But the ripcord I think I also got offline. It was a pretty hard, because complete it's kind of pricey, but I was able to part it out and have it not cost all that much. But that's what makes Heli Viper a part of this list. Now we're at the top 5. You may remember this creature from a movie that asks you, would you like to know more? And also, do you want to live forever? No. This, of course, is the warrior bug from the hit 1997 movie Starship Troopers, directed by John Verhoeven. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Part of his excellent trilogy of, Total Recall, another great 90s movie, and RoboCop, one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I love that movie. I also like this movie a lot too. And this being somewhat of an expensive figure, I'm super happy to have found it for a good price. Actually, my wife actually found this for me back when we were first dating. She was at a thrift store, and I said, hey, if you find anything interesting, let me know. And she sent me this. She's like, what about this? I'm like, yeah, please, yes, please. So she scooped it up for me. And now here it is in my collection as a testament to my appreciation for this movie and a love for my wife. Another army builder that I got sort of obsessed with in the number 4 spot is the Borg. When I was watching through Next Generation, I got mighty obsessed and decided to buy, I think, 10 of these off eBay at once, both loose and carded, as well as other Borg figures like Hugh, Locutus, 7 of 9, so on and so forth. And that's the thing, you can never have too many Borg. Alright, we are now here at the top 3 90s action figures. And again, like I said, if you know me at all, if you talk to me, if you watch my channel, you'll know what the number 3 spots belong to. So let's get into it. 3, the excellent Trendmasters Cylon Centurion. Look at that shine coming on the camera. That is wonderful. There's a few other figures you can get for the Trendmasters Battlestar Galactica line, like the Colonial Viper, the Cylon Raider, this weird Starbuck, and apparently what their version of Imperious Leader looked like. But of course, a good old Commander and Centurion. This box actually doesn't advertise the stealth Cylon, which I have a couple of in my collection, which is very odd. He's got a light up feature. Luckily my carded example still works because one of my many loose examples... Oh, hey, that works too! Surprise, surprise, surprise. Number 2 spot. It's got to be the Scorpion Alien. I have built this figure up in droves to attack my Colonial Marines and give them trouble anytime they decide to go on a bug hunt. And now if you watch my 4th of July special, you'll know that this guy was featured amongst the exploding Kenner toys. And of course, since he is one of my favorites, you gotta have a carded example too for the collection. And the number 1 spot, and let me tell you, it wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. As I sat down and even first went over the idea of this list, I'm like, 90s toys that I really like, okay? I mean, you know, the Cylon, the Alien, maybe Jurassic Park, you know, stuff like that. But then I'm like, what's the one thing? What's the one figure? It's gotta be the classic silver Terminator 2 Techno Punch endoskeleton. Now let me tell you, honorable mention goes to the glow-in-the-dark one, but you can't beat that look at that pipe lighting light up those eyes here. Can we get you going? No, the plastic didn't like it, but just look at the pipe lighting shine up those peepers. The Terminator comes with a couple cool accessories, this weird like metal thing, I guess, to slay the last remnants of humanity that don't want Skynet to take over, as well as this excellent gun which it can either hold in his hand or these little clips. You can mount it onto the shoulder right here so you can free up the hands to steal Barbie's Corvette or steal the stupid car that came with the Terminator 2 line pictured here. But he is called the Techno Punch because it needs a gimmick. Ripley had a gimmick. The Scorpion Alien had a gimmick. Even the Predator had a gimmick. It's got this funny little He-Man punch, and that's why it's called the Techno Punch. I mean, yeah, the Terminator did do a couple techno punches in the movie. At least the first one. T2 didn't really have him, you know, duking it out, doing rock'em sock'em robots with Kyle Reese or the T-1000. So that'll do it for my top 31 90s toys. I might do it again with 80s toys if I can find some sort of relevant correlation, but who knows. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all your likes, comments, all the new subscriptions I've been getting, all the views on Instagram. It means the world to me. I'm just a little guy. I'm a little guy. I'm the birthday boy. You can't be mad at the birthday boy. So again, thank you. I appreciate you all so much. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next video or at the next show. This has been Will's Toy Room, signing off. Let's see here. I'm gonna put all these stupid things away. That's weird. Last Will didn't show up. He said he was going to. Wonder what happened to him.